All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. In today's video, we're going to go over the most pressing pieces of news involving Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We're going to talk a lot about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the space in general, even have some Ripple news at the very end. This is going to be a really informative video. Make sure you watch the whole thing. I'm recording this video very early, October 31st, 2019. So grab your coffee, grab your beer, grab your candy, whatever you're into, and let's talk about what's going on in this space. I wanted to start off on Coinbase Pro, the Coinbase's public exchange, to show you something. First of all, on the sides here, you can see in the order book, trades going in, trades going out. But if you take a look at the depth chart, what I want you to notice is, especially if we zoom out, look at that. There's way more buy orders of Bitcoin drops compared to the sell orders of Bitcoin goes up in price. It's pretty interesting. It's not always like that. I wanted to point that out to you. By the way, guys, like the video, support the channel, and let's get into the top story of the day. Bitcoin just got a green flag from a major stock exchange. This is recent news just today. Let's check this out. Canadian investment fund 3iQ will now be able to offer Canadian retail investors a regulated, publicly traded Bitcoin fund. So this news was in a press release yesterday. 3iQ announced that it received a favorable ruling from the Ontario Securities Commission in regards to its closed-end Bitcoin fund, which is expected to be available on a major Canadian stock exchange by the end of the year. So Canada has their own securities commission, and like the United States, they have turned down many things like this. The 3iQ has been turned down a number of times. They've repealed it and they just got approved. They had this to say: over the past 3 years, we have worked actively with the OSC's investment fund and structured product branch to create an investment fund that we hope will allow retail investors the benefit of investing in Bitcoin through a regulated listed fund. So this is obviously a huge deal, a step in the right direction. The general public, they don't see these small things, this domino effect that we're seeing with everybody making way to get in or getting in. As Anthony Pompliano said, a regulated listed Bitcoin fund coming to the Toronto Stock Exchange. The milestones just keep coming this week. So we're still waiting for the United States to approve stuff like this. But, Bitcoin is a global thing. Crypto is a global thing. And before we jump to the next story, I wanted to finish with this. This was an interesting way to finish this article. The Bank of Canada is reportedly exploring possible opportunities and challenges related to launching its own digital currency. The central bank purportedly believes that a public central bank digital currency could be the answer to the direct threat that cryptocurrencies apparently present. It's an interesting way to end the article, talking about how the Bank of Canada might create their own national coin. And I think that's inevitable. I don't know if it's going to happen in the next 1 year, 2 year. Probably it's going to take a couple cycles, but I think we're going to see places like China, the United States, Russia, Canada, all trying to create their own cryptocurrency. All right, before we get to our next story, which I think is a pretty big deal, before we get to the real news, I did want to take 30 seconds to talk about Halloween coin, because Altcoin Daily, we come at you 365 days a year, and there's only really one day we can talk about Halloween coin in good faith, and that's today. Now, I remember last year, Halloween coin saw a pump on October 31st. This year, in the spirit of, truly the spirit of Halloween, it's dead. There's no data to display. Halloween coin is dead, so I just wanted to report that to you. Let's talk about this, though. This, I think, is Bitfinex should be celebrated because every exchange needs to do this. This is great for Bitcoin. Bitfinex adds native SegWit support for Bitcoin withdrawals. So the support is for native SegWit BEC32 addresses, which starts with the characters B1. Native SegWit is more weight-efficient address format than wrapped SegWit with addresses starting with 3. And basically what this does, it creates less bloat on the blockchain And ultimately, for you, it's going to enable cheaper transactions. So I applaud Bitfinex for doing this. They're one of the biggest exchanges, and we still have yet to see Binance do this. Now, CZ has said they're going to implement, they don't have any SegWit support. CZ says they're going to implement SegWit support at the end of Q1 2020, but they're dragging their feet. Hopefully, Binance does this. This next story is great PR for Bitcoin. Tony Hawk. If you are in San Francisco on March 27th or 28th of next year, you should go to Bitcoin 2020, a Bitcoin conference for Bitcoiners and soon to be Bitcoiners. And if you're a fan of Tony Hawk or you grew up in the 90s, you'll be psyched to see this. For our next speaker announcement, we wanted a Bitcoiner who has taken the counterculture mainstream. Super stoked to announce Tony Hawk as a featured speaker. And he's tweeted out stuff about Bitcoin before sporadically. He's been in this space for about 5-6 years. So this is great to see public figures come out in support of Bitcoin. And I think once Bitcoin starts rising up, we're going to see a lot more. This next story, I was shocked when I saw this. Check this out. Chinese Communist Party launches its own Xitcoin. Now, Xi in Chinese is pronounced Xi. So they launched their own Xitcoin. Thanks, Zuckerberg, for the idea. So I was reading this article. I started here. We want to give people the freedom of choice, except there will be no choice. Every other option will be punishable by death. I was like, what the hell? I was reading this article. It says, this comes hot off the congressional hearing of Mark Zuckerberg's Libra project, where the United States squandered the only chance it had to maintain global superpower dominance against China in the upcoming crypto Cold War by working together with Facebook. This whole article, the Xitcoin, I mean, I learned today that there is a whole satirical news website for cryptocurrency, coinjazeera.news. Maybe you've heard about this. I'm probably the last one to know. But the meme culture, the culture of cryptocurrency is real when you have a website that can sustain itself like this. So check out some of these other headlines. Kick founder sentenced to death for securities fraud. Tom Lee in protective custody after another mixed call. Charles Hoskinson checks into rehab for narcissistic personality disorder. This is hilarious. So obviously that China story wasn't true, but there is some real news based on China. I don't want to leave you hanging. This whole week, we've been reporting to you news after news on how China has pulled a total 180 and is bullish on, I don't think they said Bitcoin, but blockchain and crypto in general. This is another piece of the China story. Local government in China offers $150 million to fund blockchain projects. The story is this. Chinese officials have introduced subsidies totaling $1 billion or $150 million USD for outstanding blockchain projects. The funding threshold is up to $1.5 million for public blockchains and $500,000 for private chains. The subsidies will be provided to 2 projects per year, building on either private or public blockchains. Their leadership said, this is huge for talent attraction and retention. All other governments will follow and compete. So this is another way that China is, in one way, putting pressure on the rest of the world, putting pressure on Russia, putting pressure on the United States, Canada, saying we want to be leaders in technology. This next story, let's talk about Ripple. If you're a Ripple fan, you might find this interesting. I want to talk about what this means for Ripple and what this means for the space. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is confirming months of speculation that MoneyGram is directly responsible for an increase in XRP volume in Mexico. In a new interview on FinTech Beat podcast, Garlinghouse says MoneyGram and additional clients of Ripple are contributing a 50% boost in XRP transactions by sending dollars into Mexico using XRP as a bridge. He said, "It's a public ledger. You can see where volumes are growing, contracting, and we've talked publicly about it. You can see that the volume of transactions between XRP and the Mexican peso at the time when crypto trading dropped by about 50% over the summer, that volume grew more than 50%. That's because there's real utility, and that's a growing amount of traffic, and we're continuing to grow that amount of traffic. So you can see the percentage of XRP to Mexican peso transaction. As that grows, it's a pretty safe bet that a larger and larger percentage of that is actual utility and no speculation. Overall, Garlinghouse says that the use of crypto assets, including Bitcoin and XRP, remains largely speculative, and he believes it may be a long time before cryptocurrencies are directly used by consumers. On XRP itself, and really I would say crypto broadly, I've publicly said before that 99.9% of all crypto trading is speculation today. The amount of real utility you're talking about is really, really low. And that's true within the XRP community as well. Let me quickly give you my thoughts on this before we move on. I am not invested in XRP. You can see how much red tape and regulation Bitcoin is facing. And Bitcoin is decentralized. It has no leadership. XRP, like it or not, is much more centralized than Bitcoin. I mean, please challenge me on that. But if XRP is going to continue to be used by companies like MoneyGram, you better believe there's going to be red tape from regulators. I mean, we see just what an arduous process this is for Bitcoin. Ripple did take out an equity stake. They bought a portion of MoneyGram, so that is why MoneyGram's using it. But full disclosure, I guess they are using it. Good stuff. Moving on. Samsung is quickly becoming a leader in the cryptocurrency space. So Ledger tweeted this out the other day. Excited to integrate our Ledger hardware wallet with Samsung's blockchain platform SDK kits so that Samsung can use Ledger's hardware wallet technology. Now, you know, if you've been in the description of any of our videos, Ledger is a hardware wallet that we support. I use Ledger to store my Bitcoin. Trezor, also good. I personally use Ledger. And once again, I hope you have a fantastic Halloween. Hope everybody's giving away those little Bitcoin chocolates to the kids this year. Teach them early. I myself, maybe I'll head down to the West Hollywood block party. You know, everybody, it's like a big, like, you know how colleges do it, where everybody on the college campus dresses up and hits up bars. That's basically what West Hollywood does. Maybe I'll head over to that. Right now, the price of Bitcoin is $9,100. 196 days away from the halving. It is going to be a fantastic decade for Bitcoin. Glad you're involved. See you tomorrow.